Alright, here's the 20-inch board that we're going to be using for the housing. Here's the housing, okay, and I just drilled a couple pilot holes here. This is where the notch is going to be, okay, and this drill bit right here is a 7/16 drill bit, so this would be the width of that, okay, and then I'm just going to take a jigsaw, follow the line, and cut it out. Nice and simple. So the measurements that I do have here is from the center of the pilot hole, it's 1 and 11/32, right direct center, and from the edge it is, it's more like 12 and 13, sorry, 1 and 13/16. So kind of odd measurements, but it ends up being what it is. Feel free obviously to make it whatever distance away that you want. Okay, so we have our two 20-inch pieces that we're going to be using for the housing. We've already cut our slots, all right, and these two pieces of wood that we cut in half previously, they are 1 and 11/16. All right, so I'll put them on either end, and then the housing goes on top here. Okay. And I'm just going to put a couple screws on the ends and flip it over and do the same thing to the other side. Screws I'm going to be using, hopefully that comes in here, are number 8 1 1/4 inch wood screws. All right, so housing is complete. Alright, so we have the completed housing and we have a completed stretcher boards. Okay, so I put a 5/16 drill bit into these holes, alright, to drill them out. And now all we got to basically do now is just slide these boards into the housing, okay, and then our 3-inch carriage bolts with a washer, alright, and these are 5/16 as well. Slide those into the bottom here. Okay, slap a washer on her, wing nut, if I can get it on. Okay, and these just slide back and forth to different sizes. Alright, so I cut up a old belt to attach the tips of the stretcher together. It's soft, it's pliable. Length of it is around 6.5 inches by probably, yeah, it's half an inch, a little over. So grab some mink oil and just kind of moisturize it just a bit. This isn't probably necessary. There's going to be enough fat from the coyote and whatever else like that, but I have mink oil here, so might as well use it. I do both sides. Alright. It's just to give it a little bit more life. Alright, so I clamped the tips of the stretcher together, just so it is nice and level, sealed together. And right now I'm just going to staple the ends together here. So I'm going to want to drive this staple as close to the end of the stringer as possible, just so that it gets to the end as best as possible. Because if you don't, then you're going to have a little bit of play between pieces of leather. Alright, so it seems pretty good right now. It's driving them in there quite nicely. And one for good measure at the end. Alright, now I hope this is coming up okay. I'm going to adjust this camera just a little bit here. Sorry for the bumpiness. Okay. And right to the end. Not too far, you don't want to go through the wood, because I believe these are 1/2-inch staples. So, bad camera angle here. And then we'll just continue all the way down. It's not necessarily even, but I think it's close. And that should do the trick. So, see, it goes all the way across. I'll just hammer these down just so they're flush. Put some more mink oil on it, and we should have ourselves a finished stretcher. So in total, this stretcher cost me 68 cents for hardware, which is the 3-inch carriage bolts, wing nuts, washers, and each piece of wood I bought in 16-foot lengths. $7 for for the 16-foot piece, so $3.50, so a little over $4 to make these. So it looks pretty good.